6 Degree Tequila.
Please welcome Joseph Cimino, founder.
Welcome. Hi. My name is Joseph Cimino. I'm the founder and CEO of this wonderful brand named 6 Degree.
Thank you.
It's actually a dream come true because I never thought that in my life I'd be doing something like this. However, I stumbled into some friends who introduced me to other friends, who introduced me to other friends. And at one point, I found myself in Jalisco, in the town of Tequila, sipping tequila with Michael Maestri, who's the owner of the distiller. And when I walked in there, I thought I knew something about tequila, but actually I didn't. When I walked out of there, I was amazed how much information I had taken from him and the education that I received from him. And the moment that I tasted it, I knew I had to bottle this. It was a beautiful juice the moment it hit my lips. So on my flight back home, I decided to draw some things on a napkin and came up with the idea of a tequila and a bottle. Later on, as we meet people and everybody's kind of connected to each other, the idea of the 6 degree came because paying homage to the 6th degree of separation. Believe it or not, we're all separated by a few people, 4, 6, or less. It's a great theory. It was born in 1929 by French Carinthi. So the quest on creating this wonderful juice began, and going back to Mexico quite a few times, we developed a wonderful Blanco, which won a double gold as well as best in show. Obviously, that was last year in Vegas, which was our first year out, really. And I was really surprised how we all went in there without any kind of expectations, and we were bombarded with these beautiful medals. Then we have the Reposado, which also a double gold, but also was best tequila overall in the show that year. And then we have our wonderful Añejo. And Añejo has a beautiful story. As we all know, to create a brand or to have a brand out there, you have to have a story. Whether it's tequila, vodka, clothing, shoes, there has to be a story behind that. Otherwise, we're just not successful enough. My story behind this, obviously, is creating the brand, the 6th degree of separation. But particularly in the Añejo was something that I wanted to create. We all know that tequila pretty much is a male-dominated liquor. Spirit, correct? And I wanted to cross-gender tequila so men and women can both enjoy it. My wife, who's sitting here in the front, loves to have a drink with me at night on our deck, in front of a fire, and I enjoy my Blanco, but Lauren, my wife, will have a glass of wine. And we all know it's not the same. You have a glass of wine, I have a tequila, it's not the same. One is happier than the other, So I basically, I asked Michael and Celia to really work with me in creating something that would really attract the palate of the female. And we created the Añejo, and my wife loves it, and now we are same exact level. So please take a sip on the Blanco. I'll start from the Blanco, please. A Blanco is obviously 100% blue Weber agave, is rested in a stainless steel tank for about 2 months. That allows it a lot of smoothness to really come through. If you look at it, it's got a little pepper in the front, but when it comes down, it's absolutely gorgeous. And creating this, I wanted to also take away the stigma that tequila really has out there, being a very harsh spirit, being a spirit that's really going to get you drunk, which is not true. It's equal as vodka. It's equal as rum. As a matter of fact, rum could be stronger than tequila at times. No. So I really wanted that palate, that thing that people can really, take it in, swallow it, and say, wow, I've never tasted this before, and I'm changing my mind about tequila. Cheers. The next one up is our Reposado. Reposado is kind of unique, has a lot of complexity behind it. Is aged 8 months in French oak barrels, and it picks up a lot of peppery from the barrels itself, but yet it has the same, it's smoother finish than the Blanco. You know, obviously we've aged a little bit for 8 months. It's got a wonderful feeling. It's got a, you know, this is actually the one that won the best overall tequila in Las Vegas. We're very happy with it. Everybody loves it. As a matter of fact, when I tasted this for about a year, everybody just went straight to the Reposado. The next one up is the Añejo, the favorite of Lauren, who really inspired me to create this. And it's got a lot of vanilla behind it, bourbon, and the reason is because it's aged 28 months in Jack Daniel barrels. So it really creates a lot of flavor there. You kind of like that, eh? Yeah.
All right, Joseph.
It's awesome. It's great. Yes.
Final thoughts on your pitch, and we'll throw it to the judges.
Oh my goodness, you know, it's a great tequila. I really wanted to get into the market of the tequila. We have seen a couple of the facts today that we talk about that tequila is on the rise, but also tequila is on a wave as well on the rise. But it's that wave that we haven't touched, we haven't crested yet, and the reason is because there is a lot of people who are not educating the consumer enough. My goal is to bring this to every single bartender, every single waiter, every single general manager to try it, talk about it, teach the people. And you see we have a little square things over here with the cocktails that I created for each tequila. Moreover, the final thought is my background is food and beverage. 27 years, general manager of hotels, restaurants in Manhattan. I worked for Jeffrey Chowdhury. I'm sure you know him. And I worked for Ian Strager and so on and so on. So I find myself that I really know, you know, what the consumer really wants.
Well, let's find out what the judges want, shall we?
Yes. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good health.
And let's give it up for Joseph for his 6 degrees tequila. Judges, initial impressions, thoughts, give it to him.
I love it. I mean, obviously it tasted great. It was very smooth. I liked your story. Here's my question. This is a space now that I think is really being invaded by a lot of celebrities. We've got Clooney with Casamigos. George Strait is coming out with Codeco. Sammy Hagar, we know, has his Cabo. There's a lot of high, you know, I guess, profile people getting into the space. So, for example, at our restaurants, my wife Juliana's here at RPM Restaurants, you know, she wanted Clooney's tequila in there. And now it's that's our well tequila.
Sure.
Because when you get, you know, Randy Gerber and Clooney, you know, picking up the phone, how do you plan to compete with those people in the space?
You know, I'm going to go against the market, against everyone's thoughts here. A lot of people have asked me that. How do you plan to compete? What's your competition? And I really don't like to look at it that way. That's my business. I am the kind of guy who's just going to plow along and work each account, each distributor, each restaurant with my staff and get my tequila in the market. You know, I don't have the luck to get George Clooney with me or anything like that. You know, so if you're interested, man, you know.
Well, no,
okay.
We'll talk.
But you know, that's my thing. You know, yes, we can look at the competitive market. You know, Patron, what is doing, Cabo Wabo, what is doing, and so on and so on. But at the end of the day, is what you do that is going to bring your brand out there.
Well, since you bring this point up, let's talk to some of the heavy hitters, the big distributors. How important is that to you when you look at bringing a new brand into your house on this celebrity side of it? Is that a big factor, or do you look for something else?
It depends on the level of ownership that the celebrity has with the brand, as far as do they embrace it, do they personify the brand, and how involved they are. We've had some great successes with celebrity brands where they've been engaged with bartender outreach, industry outreach, as well as making it part of their lifestyle, where it becomes an influence. They're influencers. So when they make it part of their lifestyle, it just has that trickle-down effect all the way down to the end consumer. So celebrity tie-ins have been when they embrace the brand, when they truly feel they're part of that brand. It has proven to be very fruitful for our industry.
Great.
For us, I mean, the liquid is terrific. It is a wonderful liquid. The problem is, today, so many people are making good products. And you have a great product, and it's great, and I think it's important that you work and call on all those accounts, but you can't do it. You need to have a story that my salespeople can tell. And it being a wonderful tasting product, you need to have something more. You have something great, but you need a reason for being there that really differentiates you. And today, what we're seeing, this next generation, is really thoughtful about how you source the products, the ingredients. Is it non-GMO? Are you paying fair wages? Are you helping society? Are you doing something, almost like our speaker who spoke today, Mike, have you got a greater purpose? And I agree with the celebrity thing. It only works if they really mean it or engage. If it's a business, you can have my name, those things don't work. But the thing with George Clooney and that group, they really believe it. I mean, that is part of their persona, so they have that working for them and they tell that story. What are the things that can really differentiate your product?
The other thing, I can just add to that real quick too. What they also bring to the table is access to that next generation customer, and that's via social media. When you can, George Clooney has 12 million followers on Instagram or Twitter, or Sammy Hagar. That's where these people are consuming their information now. It's not the old way of doing it.
I agree with you as far as the Instagram and Twitters and Facebook. We're all on that. Yeah. We have a little bit of a following, and we're growing on a daily basis. But going back to what you said about the story, I think I do have a story. My story, unfortunately, is about 20 minutes long. But it's condensed in the book right there that you have. Yeah. Okay? And the bottle is absolutely beautiful. It's fantastic. I don't know if... anyways, they taped the medals in it. So I can't give you the bottle.
The one word I would add to what the other two have said so far is the word authenticity.
Yes.
The younger generation is really looking for authentic products. They want to believe that you believe in it. They can see through any story that's not 100% authentic and real. And while celebrities definitely help, it's not the only way in. If you're a really good brand with a really good story and really authentic and you're passionate about it, the marketplace is going to sense it and feel it. And working really hard is a big part of it.
Absolutely.
But expressing that authenticity and creating a marketing plan and a program and a strategy to take it to market that shows that authenticity is also really important.
Well, I think you've already cracked one code, though. The packaging, I think, is spectacular. I hope everyone agrees.
I do, but I actually have a question about it.
Yep.
How does it look on the back bar?
Great.
Because it looks like, I mean,
Yep.
I'd love to see it because I think it could get lost.
It gets invisible.
It looks like you can't read 6 Degree, especially the 6.
No, the 6 is meant to be like that, basically. Okay.
What's your pricing going to be?
Anywhere between retail 35 to 45.
All right, so you're right in the mix with a lot of the tequila.
Right.
I mean, the other issue is the fact is that a lot of the guys here were talking about on premise. Mm-hmm. The reality still is that the preponderance of the sales are retail.
Yeah.
So you've got to also have a strategy. You can't just worry about the mixed drink thing. You've got to also have a strategy that gets you into the stores in a prominent section, the adjacencies next to the 1800s, the Cuervos, all the good tequilas. Do you have any kind of a retail strategy?
We are in Pennsylvania, actually, and we have 422 stores in there, and it's coming along. And I personally would be going there to do about 72 different tastings through all the stores. And we set up a table, and we do the tastings and tell the story, pitch it, and so on. Spend 3-4 hours with the owners or the managers and take it from there. So that's what we have as far as being able to educate the consumer from the retail side. And when you go into the on-premise, is again get with the bartender. And when I say me going in every single day, I know what you're saying. I have to have a group of people, which they're right here in the audience. There's 5 of them, and we kind of go out there, and they know my story. They tell my story. They sell it.
What do you have for sizes?
Right now, I have the 750. I'm working on the 50 ml.
Okay.
And I was approached by a gentleman yesterday from Europe who would like to have the 700. But that's something to talk about later.
Joseph, you made a point and you asked about, you were talking about making it inclusive to both genders.
Yes.
Dina, I'm going to throw that to you. What do you think?
Well, I thought the añejo was lovely. And I agree with you that it needs to be more palatable from a feminine standpoint. But, you know, I think one thing that we haven't talked about is the profitability of the product. So when we look to bring new brands to market, and oftentimes we're bringing things to market that have never been in the market before, it's bottle by bottle. And,
Yes.
and you are turning our salespeople into ambassadors.
Correct.
So there needs to be a story. They need to believe in it. And we need to give a reason to the retailer or the restaurateur to put it on the shelf next to those branded items. And I think that's where you have an opportunity to win, is if you can show them that you can bring them more profitability. Because as brands get bigger, there's usually less profitability in it for the customer.
Right.
And that's where we find an advantage at times. So you have a beautiful product, and it's
for your input.
delicious.
It is delicious.
All
I
right.
can't drink too
It's
much.
a great liquid.
Joseph, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for sharing. Give him a big round of applause.